Welcome. In this 3-part series, we'll be looking at 3 mods that aim to recreate the beta Half-Life 2 world. First one that we'll look into in this video is a mod called Dark Interval. In the second video, we'll be looking at raising the bar redux, and in the third one, we'll be looking at missing information. Dark Interval started its development in 2016, and the build we'll be looking at today is from August of this year. Although it's far from completion, what they built so far is nothing short of a masterpiece. So welcome to Recreating Half-Life 2 Beta, a 3-part radiation hazard special. Right from the menu, I knew I was in for a ride, a good one. In this build, we have 4 chapters to play through. It starts from Gordon waking up from cryo sleep and ends at the teleportation segment, where the teleportation process fails, like in the retail game. What I'll be doing is share my thoughts while the footage plays in the background. This video is overdubbed with music, but I will be releasing a playthrough of this mod next month without any music, and it'll be cut up to provide you with an entertaining video and the full experience of the mod. In this video, it's mainly the design that we're looking after. This prologue follows that early story variation where Gordon wakes up on a sheet of ice with the Borealis in the distance. However, I'm not aware of any starting variation where he wakes up from cryogenic sleep. Anyway, we walk across this chilling landscape to find a carcass of a ship, and in it, one cryogenic sleeping chamber. Once we touch it, we wake up. Right from the get-go, the Borealis's interiors look hauntingly beautiful. As I was playing through this mod, I could feel that the scale of the ship has been widened quite significantly. There was this time-shifting sequences which blew me away. It showed the future of the ship, I presume, with dead bodies and the ship itself in the middle of the Arctic. About the scale, now this feels like a proper ship. It's huge. The beta maps that we looked at in a previous video feel very congested if compared to this version. However, I will say that this sequence of fighting headcrabs with cinder blocks was a bit annoying. Now let's focus on the design side of things, like I usually try to do, rather than giving you a cliched review. I don't like doing reviews, I like sharing my experiences. Now if there's one thing this mod nails, it's the atmosphere. This is quite frankly one of the best atmospheres I've ever experienced in any game or mod. The lighting, the shader effects with the ambience, it's a perfect combination. You realize as you traverse that there's something wrong here. Things have gone south, but it's a mystery as to why. The dimly lit corridors of the ship provide for a mellow feeling. Somber in its appearance, the whole ship has a strange, mystifying feel to it. Then we meet a familiar character, Odell. Odell, for some reason, just helps us out. Even knowing that we're one of the passengers from the cryo unit he's shipping.
Guess if they find you, we'll both be in trouble. Damn it, gotta think of something.
Anyway, with his help we progress further, and throughout this whole experience, I could not help but gaze with awe at the sceneries I was presented with. Continuing on, Odell helps us with getting off this ship and into the best part of this mod, City 17. As I saw it from the distance, I started to get excited. Seeing that this was my first playthrough, I could only imagine how they visualized the Beta City 17 in this mod. And I'll be honest, they did a fantastic job. The skybox, the city in the distance, standing on the docks, this was too good to be true. It's like seeing a dream of the perfect beta recreation. And then, that citadel in the distance, ever intimidating. I could not help myself but stare at it again and again. It felt so unreal, as if the modders just ripped out the concept art and put it into a 3D world like this. One thing of note is that the voice actors did a fantastic job in this mod. I couldn't tell if the dialogue used in this mod was actual beta dialogue or new dialogue. But it's new dialogue and every voice actor did a fantastic job.
Gosh, it really is you, isn't it? And yeah, Gordon, it's me, Barney. Wasn't sure if you still remembered me. I'm working for Civil Protection, undercover, obviously. Still, have to meet my beating quota. But don't...
From the docks, Barney leads us into the city. Here my mind was in fifth gear. I kept imagining how good the city must look from the inside if it looks this good from the outside. And they did not disappoint. The sudden change in the sky from dark gray to orange was a bit strange. But look, it's that map I showed you in an earlier video. And this section right here, this is the first map I showed in my first beta video. And what did the modders do to it? Make it even better. This, I believe, is what Beta City 17 looks like in everyone's minds. It's absolutely filled with grunge and so much grit. The fact that this starts from nighttime makes it feel darker as opposed to daytime in retail. The choice for the lighting's color, the textures, makes this more akin to the concept art we've all seen of Half-Life 2. In this section we have to get 2 Vortigaunts to help us open this gate. We rescue one, but the other one is down in some kind of sewer. The Combine Factory makes an appearance, and it's similar to the original Combine Factory we've seen, just looks busier and filled with different things. The Combine aesthetic itself, of the walls, their computers, tubes, basically everything Combine looks like a mixture of retail and the concept art. More skewed towards the retail side of things, I guess. The sewer sections, however, are much more diverse looking than retail. There's often a break in the area's appearance that makes it fun to play through. Instead of the same looking corridors and areas, this mod has the sewers looking more appealing. There's Zen infestations, rooms and tunnels all looking different from one another. Then there was this area where we have to bring the lights back on. Vertical in nature, the area feels depressing, broken down and not well maintained. Once we get both Vortigaunts to open the gate, we proceed further into the city. This scene, mesmerizing. This area leads into the plaza section, which we've also seen in previous videos. Here, it's magnified in area size and looks as amazing as you'd expect. In an earlier version of the beta, we would take a lift from here that would go to the other side of this map, but here, we just go into the train station to proceed further. At this point, the Combine are aware of our presence in the city. That's why Barney asked us to go through here so we can reach Dr. Kleiner, the construction area. Remember the construction area in one of my earlier videos? Well, here, it's as if they turned up the dial to 11. That ray of light that we barely see from over the wall. So good. This area has a darkness of its own. The rain pouring down makes it even more depressing. This whole area has a feeling of being alone and helpless, armed with only a crowbar. It feels miserable to be here. The lack of streetlights and minimal lights coming from a distance only adds to the lonely mood. This City 17 feels so much like it's an actual city, living and breathing. I'd even go far as saying that this is more alive than retail's City 17. You see at least someone in the streets doing something, being miserable, being oppressed. People living out in the streets under the pouring rain, while Breen goes on and on about his overlords. Windows lit in the buildings makes you think who lived there and what kind of life they are living. I guess in absolute misery. This is just good, so good. I may sound like a broken record at this point, but come on, look at it. I think this is how dark Valve wanted Half-Life 2 to be. These interior sections of the apartment building, filled with flickering lights, dingy rooms, and desolate people, nails the feeling. At this point, Gordon must be thinking how screwed up the world has become. This is not the world he left behind when he accepted the G-Man's offer. The aesthetic of City 17, architecture-wise, left me a bit confused. It's not completely like the US skyscraper design nor like the European one. It's more of an amalgamation. It has both American-looking buildings and Eastern European ones. It adds to the mystery where this version of City 17 is located. The US, Europe, or somewhere completely different. Once we reach the Manhack arcade, we venture inside to find our friend Barney, and on our way, we see the miserable citizens in their habitat, waiting for something to happen. Inside the Manhack arcade, we can see that it got an extensive facelift. And the mod also has a playable Manhack game, but I'll not show it here because it has flickering lights and I don't want to trigger someone's epilepsy. Well, I'll show just a bit of it. It's the same concept though. It looks like you're playing a game, but if you look closer, you'll see that you're actually controlling a Manhack drone that's killing actual people hiding in the sewers. Goddamn disturbing. Once we find Barney, he sends us back into the sewers and onto the path to Dr. Kleiner's lab. Before the sewer starts, there's this little abandoned area. Time has shifted and now it's almost daytime. This wrecked area feels like it's been sealed off and nobody's been here for a while. Then we see a familiar radio station, and inside, the entrance to the sewers. Now, unlike the narrow passages of the beta sewers, it's more grand in scale here, brilliantly designed. Now it looks like an actual sewer system of a gigantic city like City 17, and same point as before, more diverse. It's filled with different things, and that's why the sewers are fun to travel through, because it's not monotonous in design, it's more diverse. I like how they added in the element of Zen infestation, something that we see in Half-Life Alyx more prominently. And I'll mention the tried and tested principle I always mention. To make a good map with this kind of atmosphere, you need sparse lighting and appropriate textures. The foundations of your map will be perfect. What you add on top of it is at your discretion. Throughout this mod, you might have noticed that the locations are scaled up in such a way that they make you feel so small. That's something not even the retail Half-Life 2 could achieve. I loved this warehouse area. Even though we're here for a few moments, the feelings you get here are amazing. You think about what this place used to be and how did it get like this. Now in the lab, things resemble both the beta and the retail game. Of course, here it looks more beautiful. The sunlight coming in from the windows, goddamn breathtaking.
Oh, my goodness. Gordon Freeman.
In the teleportation scene, something similar to retail plays out. We're trying to get to Kraken Base, but the teleportation doesn't go as planned. We see some familiar places, beta places. We come back, Kleiner gets injured and Barney asks us to get out of the city ASAP, and the mod ends here. Before I end the video, let's look at some extras. There was this map, which was more of a concept of the train going through the wastelands. From the interior it looks phenomenal, but from the outside it was a bit barren. Well, of course it's a concept map, so I wasn't expecting anything out there either. Then there's these places that we see during the teleportation scene. The wasteland area looks amazing, and so do these other places. Now the outro. This mod is straight up gorgeous to look at. Every map, every location is so well crafted, you couldn't even tell that this was made by a small group of modders. I really hope that they continue to work on this. The 4 years it took to make this shows in how beautiful and well crafted it is. I cannot wait for this to be completed one day, and we will all have a way to replay the beta version of Half-Life 2 that is true to its roots. Now, seeing that this is a 3-part series, I hope to crown a winner out of the 3 mods. I'm not gonna rate this mod yet. I'll do that in the 3rd video. I'll declare a winner out of these 3. For now, in the coming days, I'll be working on creating the 2nd and 3rd part of the series. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, please consider subscribing to the channel, and thank you for watching.